This is a show that will blow your mind, but it might not. It all depends. Do you like breakfast and a book with a friend?
Hello, everybody. We're gonna have breakfast and a book with Swallow. So this is how it works. I have breakfast. I tell you about a book I've read, and it's lots of fun and it's silly, and it's just a way to distract from us being stuck inside for a while. We went on, I guess it's uh, everybody else wants to call it lockdown, but it's basically stay home, stay safe, is what our mayor is calling it. But that's a good idea. Stay home, stay safe, guys. That's what we're doing. We're gonna entertain you while we all stay home and stay safe. I am today for breakfast and a book with Swallow. We've got this. I don't know if you can see how awesome this is. That is a waffle shaped like a Death Star. I made it homemade because I'm grown up. That's right, I can make my own waffles. I used flour and an egg and some sugar, and I added a little brown sugar and a little cinnamon and sugar. And then I eat it with peanut butter and jelly because we don't have syrup right now. And also, I really like it with peanut butter and preserves. We always have preserves. Preserves have the little pieces of fruit, which make you think that you're a little more healthy. You're eating your fruit that way, guys, which is totally inaccurate. So now let's dig in. Let's see how it tastes. Of course, have bacon. We'll see how long the bacon lasts. We have a couple of things in the freezer. I think at some point I'm probably gonna have like something weird for breakfast. Like, I don't know, like um, maybe macaroni and cheese or whatever is left over. Mm. For some reason, I'm not seeing comments. So, oh wait, there we go. Love the Death Star waffle. She actually ate before us today, first time I think. Don't point your fork at your friends though. A fine point, guys. This is delicious. I am going to go ahead and call myself a master chef. So, that's what I'm eating. Oh, also, tea. Tea makes everything better, and also makes it easier for me to talk with my full mouth and you not to see it. So today's book is Dragonquest by Anne McCaffrey. Obviously, I have the mirror thing on because I'm using my forward-facing camera on my phone, but you get the idea. So yeah, I basically, like, you know, one of the books from my collection. Bam, I have more over there. Of course, I own a lot of books. This is what my hair looks like in the morning. I know, it's pretty amazing, guys. Yes, Phil. Phil says next week cooking with stale crackers and cornstarch. It might be 2 weeks, but it could get there. You never know. So this is volume 2 of the Dragon Riders of Pern. Now this book has a special place in my little heart because it's the Dragon Riders of Pern series, and tons of books that Anne McCaffrey wrote are kind of how I got started reading fantasy novels. I would get grounded a lot as a kid because I had some anger issues. And then what would happen is the one thing I was allowed to do was read books. So I would read what was ever in the house. And I believe it was either my dad or my stepmom who read these, maybe both of them. Maybe that's one of the ways they connected when they were dating or whatever. But these were in the bookshelf. So I read Clan of the Cape Bear, which, by the way, maybe not so good for kids. Also read Heinlein. God, which Heinlein did I read? It was the Friday, I think it was called. It was like robots and banging. It was not for kids. But then I also read the Dragon Riders of Pern. While technically probably a little more adult for that time as well, I still really enjoyed these, and these were the first times that I loved dragons. So I'm going to read the back for you. This is the second book. Another turn, and the deadly silver threads begin falling again. So the bold dragon riders took to the air once more, and their magnificent flying dragons swirled and swooped, belching flames that destroyed the shimmering strands before they reached the ground. But Flar knew he had to find a better way to protect his beloved Pern, and he had to find it before the rebellious old-timers could breed any more dissent. Before his brother Fëanor would be foolhardy enough to launch another suicide mission, and before those dratted fire lizards could stir up any more trouble. So if you don't know, this is how Dragon Riders work. In Pern, it's this different planet where these threads of fire, basically, or these threads, they're not really fire, they're thread like worms or something, and they hit the ground and just destroy everything. So, but they are not impervious to fire. They find these dragons, they teach, they kind of like bond with them, and then start flying and, you know, blowing these things out of the sky. And of course, the real story behind the book is there's always some kind of political intrigue or love story or infighting between the people. Because whenever you have a book like this, that's really what it is. You know, the fantasy part is the fun part, the metaphor for the serious part, which is how do people get along during a disaster? Which I guess this actually works pretty well for this time period. We are all a bit in a disaster, stuck at home, told how dangerous this thing is, and I am love the science, and so therefore I always just side with them. So in this situation, I'm taking the advantage of reading books, making cool videos, well, videos that I think are cool. Hopefully you think they're cool as well. This is the type of thing that when I was a kid kept me from also going crazy, stuck in my room. I read these books and I got to live in a different world. Now you guys know one of the things I do when I'm looking for books is that I open up into the middle anywhere and I read just to kind of get an idea of the author's style. Whenever I'm looking for a new book and I don't know the author, that's how I do it. So here we go. I'm going to open it up. We're going to read a part. Let's see. We've had live falls now, Flar went on gravely, glancing at the other leaders, trying to see how far he could continue in his move to consolidate himself as their spokesman. Takul's defection had shaken Duram badly. What Tiran's reaction would be, Flar didn't try to guess. But if the Fort Ware leader found himself in a minority of one against the other 4 leaders, would he decide to act against Takul, even if it did mean siding with Flar? At Telek Hold 8 days ago, Upper Crom Hold 5, High Lima's Hold North 3, Southern Far West 2, and now High Reaches Hold, undoubtedly thread fell in the Western Sea, but there is no question that falls are more frequent and increasing in scope. No point on Pern is safe. Nowhere can afford to relax its vigil to traditional 6-day margin. He smiled grimly. Tradition! That gives you an idea. I want to see if there's some description here, because I don't think that even portrays how cool this stuff is, but it does at the same time. But it's great. It has dragons in it, and people fly on the dragons, you guys. Who doesn't enjoy dragons flying on things? So I hope you're having a good time. Maybe watching me make these goofy videos. I'm having a good time making them, so even if nobody is watching them, I pretty much don't care at this point. I'm just going to make silly videos and have a nice time. So it's on my YouTube page. Just look up Ron Swallow on YouTube, and you can see him. It's fun. Once again, I do want to show you this. I ate a part of it, but that is a Death Star waffle. Because who doesn't love a Death Star waffle? I made it homemade. I mentioned that earlier. You should always make waffles homemade. It's very easy. Like, you basically just take the dry ingredients, mix them up a little bit. You take the wet ingredients, beat those up, combine them, stir them up again, and then just pour it in your waffle iron. Bam, make it happen. Pretty simple. I got a Death Star waffle iron from my lady. Did we buy that together? I can't remember. But either way, Death Star waffle iron. It's pretty rad. You should get one. And remember, read all the books with dragons. Why wouldn't you read books with dragons? You know what I mean? So this is Dragonquest again. I'm going to hide this so you don't have to see me picking at my teeth. Bacon is delicious. Buy all the bacon. But you have to have a waffle iron. You're right. Janet says you have to have a waffle iron. That's true. You do have to have a waffle iron. Though I would wonder, could you pan fry waffles? I bet you could, like cook them like they're pancakes. Maybe tomorrow I will do a experiment and we'll find out if you can use a frying pan to do waffles. I bet you have to let it heat up first, put a little butter down there to make like it go psst, and then throw it on there and see how it works. We'll try it out tomorrow and we'll see how it turns out. Not as cool looking as a Death Star waffle iron. I know they're called pancakes, but this wouldn't be pancake batter. This would be different because it would be waffle batter, which is different than pancake batter. Okay, Dewey. Dewey said they're called pancakes. I know they're called pancakes. I don't know if they work the same. I don't know if they cook the same. We're going to have an experiment and see if they do cook the same. They may. You want to watch me cook them? You know what? I'll see if I can set that up. I don't know if I have a way to get the phone to hold up the right way, but I will do my best, and then we'll see how that turns out. And then I guess part of the live thing will be me walking in and doing the cooking too. We'll try that out. It'll take a little bit longer, but hey, what is the difference? I believe pancake batter doesn't have as much sweet stuff in it. I believe it's mostly just flour, egg, and salt and baking powder, baking soda, probably. I think. I'll look it up and we'll find out because I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, waffles have a little more sweet stuff. They have sugar and stuff like that. I think pancakes are pretty plain. They're pretty much just floury business that you cook onto a thing, I believe. But maybe you could add flour, add sugar into pancakes. We'll have to find that out. Weirdly, I've never made pancakes. I've only made waffles. And well, I did make pancakes when it was from a box, which don't do that. Just make it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So once again, closing it out. Oh yeah, also Ariel, my lady, says she can film me cooking, and the syrup I created is great because we didn't have any syrup. So what I did was I took brown sugar, a little bit of water, a little bit of regular sugar, and some butter, and then I microwaved it for a little bit, and then stirred it up a whole bunch, and then microwaved it for a little bit more, and then added a tiny bit more water, and then bam. Waffles maybe more leavening. Yes, waffles definitely have more leavening. They have more baking soda for sure, I think. So tomorrow, Ariel will probably help me out with filming me cooking. It will probably be a little bit earlier because I'm also recording some Reboot It. If you haven't seen Reboot It, I will take this opportunity to tell you right now about the show that I do with Ed Greer, Billy Business, and producer Bill, the guy who helps us make Nerd Goat. I'll tell you, oh, Dewey says she needs that recipe. I will message you the recipe. is pretty easy. And then so basically, in Reboot It, we take a franchise that nobody wants rebooted, and we reboot it and try to make it good. And you see us talking about it, how we're going to make the story, who we're going to put on it, all that sort of thing. So you can go to Reboot It to check that out. And tomorrow today at 3 we're recording one, and tomorrow at I think in the morning we're recording one. So I may either have to do an early version of cooking breakfast. Maybe it'll actually be breakfast for you guys who think that you need to have breakfast in the morning. Of course, this is my morning. I woke up like, an hour ago. So, and then cooked food. So, but thank you guys for checking it out. I'm just here trying to entertain the people, be weird, be goofy, talk about fun stuff. I want to mention again that this book is like glorious. It is a great starting point, and it's an all ages starting point. A lot of people might call it YA. I don't think it's YA. I think there's too many adult political things happening inside of the Dragon Riders of Pern for it to be considered young adult. Not that teenagers can't figure out politics a little bit, obviously. We need them to in this upcoming election. We need all the 18 and 19-year-olds to come out and save us, pretty much. So, like I said, keep eating all the good foods, keep staying inside, read the books. I have a bazillion more books I'm going to go through, and I may even do something where I'm just like review a bunch of books because I have like 20 Terry Brooks books and all of the Jim Butcher books, so maybe I'll just talk about a whole series. But these ones, if you haven't read it, it's so great. I mean, it's you get this moment where people bond with their dragons, so they have to like kind of meet their dragon and get to know them, and then kind of like have a connection with them. And then there's different skill levels for flying the dragons, and they're in constant danger because there's this threads coming down to destroy everything, and they come more frequently, and it's crazy. And the Dragon Riders are like the NFL players or whatever. They're just like huge in this world, and they're leaders. And some people don't ride dragons, but they're just as important, you guys. Everybody's important in this world, and I really love that. I'm gonna take a bite of bacon. I don't know if you can hear me eating the bacon. I hope you can't hear me, but delicious. So, in conclusion, drink your tea, eat good breakfast stuff, maybe this waffle with the Death Star, read good books. That'll make your quarantine easier and more fun, and it makes everyone's lives better. So thanks for listening to another episode of Breakfast and a Book with Swallow. I'm Ron Swallow. If you are interested in donating or helping me out, considering this as entertainment that you pay for, you can Venmo me at Ron-Swallow, or you can PayPal me at ronswallow@gmail, or even better, you can join the Nerd Goat Patreon, which is just go to Patreon, put in Nerd Goat Podcast, and Ed and I pop up. And if you want to sign up for that, you'll get for $5 you get a ton of extra episodes and 3 new ones each month. Plus, if you sign up for the $7 tier, you get art from Ed and art from me. My art is normally not great, but it's getting better. I made a Superman drew Superman last month that turned out pretty good. So anyways, if you want to support artists, it's a great idea if you have the means to do it. If you don't have the means, do not send me money. Keep your money if that's the case. Be careful out there, because it is too crazy to take a chance. We've got a lockdown till April 19th, and April 19th is, we got a month of this at this point. So you've got to, be careful. Obviously, things are still open. We still go get groceries, and there's no time to panic. Like, no one needs to panic right now. We just need to stay focused. And like I said, I'm going back and forth. I get easily distracted and I can start babbling. Read books, eat good food, maybe watch some TV. Ariel and I are going to be making a show called Positive Spin that we will also be doing live at some point. I don't know when we're going to do that, but we're going to get to that, and it's going to be awesome. Basically, we're going to watch a movie, and whether it's good or not, we're just going to tell you all the good parts that it has, which I think is a key thing for us to start doing. Look at the positive things that people make. I don't know if you ever think about how people make movies, but when you really think about how people make movies, it's insane how much work goes into that. From the guys driving the trucks to get there to bring equipment, to the guys loading the equipment out, setting it up, setting up the lighting, the makeup artists, the actors, the writers, the directors, the associate producers, the associate directors, the stuntmen. Everything that goes into making movies is huge. And while I do think there's room for criticizing people who make bad stuff, I think we should also take a look at the stuff that people consider bad and find the nuggets of good in it. So that's kind of the goal of that series. So basically, if you follow me on YouTube and you pay attention on Facebook and that sort of thing, I'll be having some stuff to entertain you guys and some shows coming out. I'm also going to do a live comedy show next week again. And if you missed the last one, I did about 40 minutes of stand-up. And the next one, I'm probably going to do a bunch of nerdy stuff to expand it. So check that out. Keep an eye out for all the stuff that's going on. And thank you for listening to another episode of Breakfast and a Book with Swallow.